And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Today's breakup map showing mostly open water, some open to mostly open here along all three of the main rivers up there in the North Slope. And there's due to the rapid snow melt and high water levels, that's caused some flooding. And there's a flood warning out for areas of the Colville River and also for the Sag River for the next couple of days. Otherwise, moving on to fire danger. Big area of extreme fire danger here, kind of a huge area for grass from the Koyukuk Valley across the Yukon Valley here and into the Tanana Valley as well. Of course, that's surrounded by very high fire danger around that area. Also some very high fire danger for grass here over the southwest interior and in the Copper River Basin. Moving to spruce, about the same pattern here with the extreme fire dangers for spruce up over the Yukon Flats, through the Tanana Valley, especially the central Tanana Valley into the Koyukuk Valley there, with high fire danger all the way up to the Brooks Range and then down into the Copper River Basin and a swath here over the Kuskokwim Valley. And from there, moving on to satellite imagery, pretty good low pressure area pulling northwestward here along the south coast of the Panhandle, and the front pushing northward there, bringing gusty winds and rain to the area with the heaviest wind and rain over the southern areas, with winds gusting anywhere from 25 to 50 miles per hour and up to half inch or even 2/3 of an inch of precipitation falling today over the southern areas like Ketchikan and in toward Prince of Wales Island, with lighter rainfall amounts up to the north here. Otherwise, a couple of bands of clouds with some showers cutting across the southern Kenai Peninsula here. Very isolated showers, just a lot of cloudiness though, coming across the Kenai Peninsula into Cook Inlet area. Sunshine, very warm temperatures again up over the Tanana Valley, and also some thunderstorms developing here from the 40-mile country extending westward just north of Fairbanks there in the mountains north of Fairbanks, and Tanana carrying a thunderstorm at last hour there. And to the north of that and to the south of that, dry conditions with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Out here to the west, we've got low pressure that has pulled back to the northwest Bering Sea. Remnants of a front here, a couple of bands of moisture, one here and some moisture up here with a little bit of shower activity there, and that extending down to the eastern Aleutians. Very weak system out here, and then some more clouds to the west. Forecast for tonight, no big storms at all out over the Bering Sea or the Aleutians. Just 3 weak troughs scattered around there, producing showers, light rain, fog, low clouds. Quite an extensive area of IFR over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians for the night tonight. Thermal trough here caused by the heating and some diminishing thunderstorm activity now. Actually, those thunderstorms firing up right along that trough axis there, again from the upper Tanana Valley 40-mile country eastward in toward Eielson Air Force Base to the mountains just north of Fairbanks. That'll slowly diminish later this evening, and of course after midnight could be a thunderstorm or two up along portions of the Brooks Range. It'll stay dry for the North Slope and Arctic coastal areas, and should see some sun breaks here this evening for Cook Inlet and the Matanuska Valley areas, but a westward moving band of moisture here bringing rain along the North Gulf Coast into the Copper River Basin should spread westward across Prince William Sound to Whittier, possibly Portage by late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Another system down here southwest of the Panhandle starting to spread some rain up to the north. And then for tomorrow, periods of rain for the southeast coast again, especially the southern third or half of the southeast coast, cutting off roughly around Sitka over toward Petersburg, maybe Wrangell. To the north, though, dry with some sunshine. Dry weather, partly to mostly sunny for the North Gulf Coast here, as that band of moisture makes for a cloudy, kind of showery day here across south central Alaska. Again, Cook Inlet, Kenai Peninsula, all the way up to Denali Park there, so that includes the Susitna Valley. That'll extend southward to Kodiak Island, and some showers even over the eastern Alaska Range with, should say, probably thunderstorms. Whatever fires up there will probably be thunderstorms. Same thing back here to the west and north. Whatever pops over the Brooks Range will be thunderstorm activity there. But to the west here, dry conditions, partly sunny skies, light winds for the western interior areas. A lot of low clouds out over the Bering Sea, keeping IFR flying conditions here right on down to the Aleutians. And the next system coming onto the chart moves eastward there, brings gusty winds and rain into the west central Aleutians, spreading as far east as Atka by afternoon. Eastern Bering Sea mostly dry, maybe some shower activity here, but that'll stay south of St. Lawrence Island with high pressure right over the island there for light wind conditions. Partly to mostly sunny, Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta, Seward Peninsula, Kotzebue. Thunderstorms here, western Brooks Range and North Slope, associated with a weak trough there. And again, showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon here over the mountain, the Alaska Range here from the northern Susitna Valley, maybe the Talkeetnas, all the way up into the central Tanana Valley and over the Kuskokwim Valley as well. Sunny, warm day, highs in the 70s and 80s again, with mostly in the 80s here for the Yukon Flats area back toward Bettles, Nikoyakuk Valley. And partly to mostly sunny, Cook Inlet into the North Gulf Coast areas, and showers and clouds for the southeast coast. This system kind of stays to the south on Thursday there. Looked like it was going to move up, as you can see, but it just drifts off to the west. Still some mostly cloudy skies with just a few showers around for the Panhandle. Not too bad there. Maybe some sun breaks. Partly sunny, especially in the morning hours for the North Gulf Coast and Kenai Peninsula. Again, showers, isolated thunderstorms developing over the Chugach, Talkeetna Mountains. Scattered thunderstorms, Copper River Basin, right into the Alaska Range here. And again, 70s and 80s for the highs over the interior. Dry for the Arctic coast, partly to mostly sunny for the western part of the state. This system bringing possible gale force winds here, especially in advance of the front as it pushes in toward the eastern Aleutians, with rain spreading to the extreme western Alaska Peninsula and extending all the way back out to Shimianatu. Lows for tonight in the 50s and 60s in the interior, 40s for the Arctic coast, or 30s and 40s up there, mostly in the upper 40s and 50s here, southern Alaska and the Panhandle, and lower 40s for the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. Highs for tomorrow, well into the 80s through the central interior here, and 60s or up 50s to maybe lower 70s here in the Susitna Valley, more likely the Copper River Basin, otherwise 50s mid to upper for the Kenai Peninsula, Kodiak Island about the same, and highs mostly in the 60s for the southeast coast, 40s to lower 50s here for the Aleutians. And lows again, 50s and 60s in the interior, north of the Alaska Range, upper 40s to lower 50s, south of the mountains. And for the Arctic coast, in the 30s there, but 40s for the North Slope, and in the 50s, upper 40s to 50s for the Panhandle. Followed by highs once again, upper 70s and 80s for the interior, north of the Alaska Range, 70s down into the northern Kuskokwim Valley, cooling into the 50s out along the coastline here, and 40s for the Aleutians. Highs mostly in the 60s again for the southeast coast, and maybe some 70s showing up again in the Susitna Valley, but more likely in the Copper River Basin.